Okay, right now I'm going to try to create a terrain. So what I do is I close this panel, I open the terrain panel, and see it's pretty empty. So what I'm going to have to do is add and create a new terrain. The dimensions, this means the amount of AI squares you have, which will be explained elsewhere. So we just put this to 300 squares to 300. And then we need to add a base material. So I'm just going to go to main, sort on all materials in the game, and then try to find a base. Let's say that we just use the Seal base. This is a material, if you double click it, it uses different textures, so one texture for the slope and one for the base, for the ground. You will see in a moment what this means. So I'll add this one. You only need this one for the base, only for the terrain itself. So press OK. So now we have a basic terrain, which has the base layer, and then you have a slope. If I want to see the slope, I just move them up, and you automatically have the slope texture applied, so we can smooth this. If you press Shift, you smooth it, and then you have the buttons to move it up, move it down. You can flatten it. You can smooth it with this button. And then you can create slopes. The cool thing about slopes is when you hold your mouse button and you increase the size with the keyboard shortcut, you can create slopes for the characters to walk on. They need to have a certain angle for the characters to be able to walk on, but I guess this will be okay. You can change the settings of these tools by right-clicking them, and then you get the radius and the strength of the tool. So the strength would be 10, and then you would have crazy fast, and if you want 1, and it goes slow. You can also use the level tool, it's also a powerful tool to create a level. So you can always level something. And the properties of this one have a clamp. So if you put the clamp to true, everything will always be this height. So if I want to create something here, it has this height, something here. Because if I turn it off, it will always take the height of that position. So it will be this high, or this high, or this high. And if I put the clamp on, then I can... Wait, now the clamp is true. Then it has the same size here. Which is an easy way to, you know, create the same height everywhere. And you can smooth this out. Okay, now we want to add some terrain paint to this, because this doesn't look like anything nice. You can smooth it out. So what you can do is click the terrain and then add some materials to it. So we're just gonna have to press the plus button, press the resource manager button, and then we're gonna have to look for the terrain textures, which are in terrain, I would say. No, it's not. It's in textures. No, it's not. It is in... Where was it again? Yeah, it must be terrain, yeah. Ah, right. So I have to erase this. So in terrain default, you have the materials for the terrain. I want to add some rocks, maybe. Some stones. Let's say coastal stones. Okay. Of course, you have to do the whole process again. So you can click plus, you add the terrain textures, coastal stones A. Okay, then you click again, and then you add. And then you go to, let's say, maybe some roots brown, add those two, and then I add maybe some floor. Not all the textures are in the terrain default, but some of them are in the tiles folder. So you're gonna have to look around for, let's say, stone house, stone wall. Stone wall floor A, for example, it's also a terrain material, so you can add that one too. You're gonna have to look in the tiles and in the terrain to find the materials. So now I have enough. I'll start by clicking. There's an order in which the layers are, so you would say that coastal stone C is now at the bottom. I paint those. And coastal stones A is on top of that. And on top of that you have the roots. And then on top of that you have some stones. You can change the order by pressing the button up. And now you change the order of the textures. What you could do if you, let's say that you want to paint some stones on top of this and you press. If you press, he fills it up. But if you hold control, you can paint under the layer above. So that's a really easy, handy way to not destroy this texture, but you can still add some. So if I want to have some stones for C, and it also works for erase, so I can just erase this one. Yeah. Or I can erase all of them. Now I erase everything, and if you press Control, he erases everything. If you don't, he only destroys the layer you're using. You're gonna have to test a bit what it exactly does. You just need to remember to use the Control button. If you want to paint, it's left mouse button, erase is the right mouse button. This way you can really create interesting looking scenes. Now there's a setting you need to know about. This is the clamp setting. So if I'm having if I have the stone wall selected and I delete them, if I put the clamp to 0.5, then he only paints until in the alpha channel the 0.5, so it doesn't come through totally. So if I put the 0.2, he just creates a different one. So that's cool to use the roots, so I can paint the roots. Oh, that's too low. So if I put it to 1, I do it like this. If I put it to 0.5, you see it clamps the... you can still see the other layer underneath. So this way you can create interesting looking scenes.